This country has gone crazy.
This month, we're going to be focusing on asynchronous and synchronous learning. If I have to hear synchronous and asynchronous learning one more time, oh my gosh. I mean, pick one. Is it asynchronous or synchronous learning? Y'all switch back and forth every single week. I can't live like this. Pick one. Now more than ever, guys, it's important to build relationships with your students. Relationship. Y'all are consistently talking about these relationships with our online students. I'm with it. I'm here for it. But how come no one will answer my question of how am I supposed to build a relationship with a blank box?
You're never going to get an answer.
The county just gets to keep it. My son was complaining about me at school to his principal, and the principal responded with, "She's probably just cranky because she had that miscarriage. Just take whatever she says and let it go in from one ear to the other." I thought there was no way that could have actually been said by the administrator, but no, He confirmed it. He not only said it to my middle school child, he didn't understand why it was such a big deal. So you have no place in education. My principal allowed a literal convicted sex offender onto campus because we need subs. Putting a predator in the classroom was apparently more of an option than my principal going into the classroom.
Yeah. We even had a home, as a matter of fact, as far as subs go, in Georgia, it was kind of weird because we had a homeless person as a sub. And then we found out, oh, wait a minute, there are a lot of substitute teachers in the database that are homeless. Yeah. I mean, so, this is nothing new, of course. I mean, a sexual predator, yeah, why wouldn't they?
Was for the day. Or whatever segment of their lesson they were in.
Here is an administrator.
Get confused about what exactly it was they were supposed to do. Now they'll play that game where they don't understand what you're talking about and look at you like you got three eyes and all that kind of, I don't know what you're talking about. They're going to do that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they really didn't know what to do because the teacher didn't do a good job explaining it. And what would happen is they would get in a hurry and they would think, oh, I need.
And some of these kids, they come to school, they're high, they're doped up, they can't do anything. Heck, they even do their drug dealing at the school. And they don't understand. Well, no, they're not. They don't listen, they don't pay attention, they're not going to. And what do? Go to this administrator for help? Wrong answer.
Let's get started. Let's not waste time. And they would give the directions, and it might be kind of complicated. And then they would start, and the kids are like looking at I knew it whenever it happened because they would all start looking at each other like, do you know what to do? I don't know what. You've all seen that look, like they don't know what to do. And so what I began to notice was they were not doing a good job. The teachers were not doing a good job.
And that's their pat answer for everything. The teachers are not doing a good job. Blame the teacher always for everything. It's always the teacher's fault. Now, one of the things you got to remember as a public school teacher, guess what? You've got to do the paperwork. How are you going to do the paperwork? You got to do the paperwork, and paperwork has to be done no matter what. Okay. So how are you going to do the paperwork? So some people ask me, okay, since you know everything. Okay, so the question is, how do you do the paperwork? There's so much paperwork to be done. I got to do all these forms. I got to fill out more forms and yada, 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 yada. Okay, you have to do the paperwork, okay? There's no way to get around it. You have to do it. And a lot of teachers say, well, how am I going to do it? I mean, I got, I got 6 classes. I got, 10 stacks of paperwork on these students. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Here's how you do it. Let's say you have let's say Marcus has a peanut allergy. Okay, that means you have to do paperwork for Marcus. Yeah, Marcus has this peanut allergy. Yeah. So anyway, Marcus has his peanut allergy, so you have to do paperwork because he's got a peanut allergy. Here's how you do the paperwork. You take roll. Got to turn roll in. Got to do it on time. No such thing as not doing the paperwork. Okay, you got this student, Marcus, you got to do paperwork on him because he's got a peanut allergy, because he's allergic to peanuts. And you say, hey, Marcus, you take out the paperwork during class after you turn in the roll. Marcus, you're not supposed to eat peanuts. You know, not peanuts, peanuts. Okay? So anyway, you say, don't eat the peanuts. Don't eat peanut butter. If somebody gives you peanuts, don't eat it. So you have maybe about 5 pieces of paperwork to fill out on Marcus, you know. You got to fill that paperwork out. Okay, so Marcus has this peanut allergy. That's about 5 sheets of paper, okay, that you have to fill out. And you have to explain to him that he's not supposed to eat peanuts, and you have to tell him not to take peanuts. And you got to tell the class not to feed him peanuts. And Marcus, he's like 15 years old. He's a 10th grader. But you got to go through the... So what you do is you take the forms, this is after roll call, during class, and you have to fill it out. And the time to fill it out is during class, okay? Now they're going to ask you what time you talk to his parents and all that. And you got to call the parents, you got to discuss it with the parents. You got to write down a phone number. One thing on those forms, don't leave blank spaces. Fill in every blank. So one of the things you have to fill out for the form is, what's his dad's phone number? So you say, Marcus, what's your dad's phone number? I don't know. So you put down a phone number. You don't leave the thing blank. You don't put, I don't know. You don't put not applicable. If on the form it asks for his nickname and he doesn't have a nickname, give him a nickname. Okay? But britches or something like that. And then like, well, what phone numbers do you put down? He didn't give you a number, but you put down a number. Okay. Nobody's going to call the number. All right. Nobody's going to call it. They just want to see that the paperwork is filled out. They don't care if it's filled out accurately. But if they do call the number, they're going to answer, Rockdale County Jail, how may I help you? All right. Yeah, put the jails down, but don't put them all down. And then they're going to ask what time you called. Don't put a class time during the on the paper. Put a different time, maybe before, after school or something like that. And you put down that you called him and you talked to him. Even though you didn't, you put it down. Wait a minute, are you asking me to lie? Hey, you're the one asking me for advice on how to get this homework off your back. Or I mean this paperwork. You got the paperwork monkey on your back. All right? How do you get them off? Yeah, you're going to have to lie. You think your administrator didn't lie to you? You think the students don't lie? Hell, they lie all day long. The administrators, that's all they do is lie all day long. So, you know what? I mean, you kind of got to go with it. All right? So you put down, the jail. Jails are always good, especially with inmate relations, because they'll actually try and look up the dad. And in some cases, the dad will actually be an inmate. You know? So anyway, if you got all this paperwork, they're telling you to do all this paperwork, you have an obligation to do the paperwork. They're going to get on your ass if you don't do it. Yeah, you're doing it during class time. Duh. And of course, people say, well, wait a minute, that's taking up class time. Yes, it is. Well, the students aren't learning anything if you're doing paperwork during class time. Nobody cares if you're teaching or not, okay? Georgia Public School. Nobody gives a damn, okay? Let me make it clear to you. It's like a $2 whore in a $10 town, okay? It's not going to work very well. You got shit for administrators, okay? Nobody gives a damn. You've got entitled parents. They're not interested in education. The administrator's not interested in education. And if you're interested in education, you're going to lose your job. Okay? That's the way it is. Okay, they're going to tell you a lot of things to do, and you're going to have to do them. You don't know how to do them. Well, let me tell you something. You tried to do it the easy way. Yeah, you got to fudge a few things. Sure. Why not? They're going to lie to you. You know, I mean, sure as hell, they're going to lie to you. Okay, they're going to throw you under the bus. So, anyway, what I found out is I do the paperwork in class, or I'll make up stuff, or I'll just put it on, and I'll just, like, you know, whatever. I'll fill out the paperwork. I will do it during class, and I'll have the students help me with it. Okay. Listen, I'm going to get in trouble for not doing the paperwork. I'm not going to get in trouble for not teaching, though. All right? So the thing is, yeah, I'll get the paperwork done. I'll turn it in on time. Remember, no blanks. Don't cross through anything that doesn't apply. Put something in there. They want his work number. They want his home phone number. They want his cell number. They want his fax number. Put something down. By the way, the jails are really good numbers to use, okay? Because, see, somebody actually answers those phones, especially if you're doing inmate relations. And they won't recognize the name. They'll actually look for the guy, okay? But one thing is, the chances of you getting caught are minimal because there's a few other teachers that are going to have problems doing their paperwork. And they're going to be on their asses all the time. Okay? Don't give homework. You know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the test. You know, if the teacher's going to be bucking you or the principal's going to be bucking you every time you try to teach something, stop teaching. If the administrator is going to interfere with you teaching, then stop teaching. I mean, plain and simple. Okay? I mean, that's the way I looked at it. You're the administrator, and you're going to buck me if I'm going to try teaching? Sure, I'll go with the flow. Hey, I'm not here to be a hero, jackass. All right? And if I'm working for a public school, I know what the deal is. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of these people come in with all these atrocities that are going on in these schools. No shit, Sherlock. Anyway, the one thing to remember, though, is make sure you do your paperwork and do it on time.